Hey up, welcome back. So today I've got this power file to show you. Yeah, it's been out a while now, bit late at getting one of these, but I needed it for a job, so I figured why not do a review on it. I'll show you, well basically you get a few belts with it in box, but quite impressed with it up to now. So let's just jump in. I'll show you the tool, show you the features, show you it running, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Right, so this is the tool. Very simple, you know, as simple as it comes really. Quite compact, nice and light, you know, easy to use. Simple on off trigger. You have got a lock button that you can press in and it'll keep it going. I do find it a little bit fiddly to press that button in, and then you just have to click trigger again and it'll pop it back out. But I do find it sometimes pops out on its own because of not being able to push it in far enough. It is quite restrictive if you've got quite big fingers. You have to really get your fingernail in there to shove it in, but it does work pretty well. On the back you've got your variable speed, so you can slow it right down, you can speed it right up. Very simple, you know, you can alter the speed as it's running. If you've got the trigger locked in place, you can alter it as you're going along, which is quite nice. Over here on this side, that is your belt tracking, you know, so if it's veering off, as you can see, you know, you need to try and center it up to your actual wheel on here. After using it for a while, it tends to stay quite well tracked once you've set it up. I find it don't drift off much at all. And then you've got your quick release for your belt. It just simply comes off like that. Very, very pretty. Very pretty good, yeah. It's so I'll stick belt on. We'll get a few items to test it out on. I'll show you how it works. I'll just quickly say, in the box it did come with 3 belts. Obviously I've got 1 belt on at the minute. This is a 120 grit. This is 60 grit. I can't remember what that one was. It might have been an 80 grit or a 40 grit. I'm not sure. One thing you will have to look out for is, you see the arrow on the belt. You can actually, there is an arrow on this section here. You have to make sure that the arrow follows this arrow as well. Right, so I'll just try it out on a piece of wood to start with. I've got the setting down low, so if I just start it up, I'll show you what I mean with it, how you can adjust it as it's running. So I've got the trigger locked in now. So that's pretty good if you're wanting to do quite fine work. So as you can see, it works pretty well when it comes to using it with wood. So I'll just try, got a bit of laminate, see what it's like with a bit of laminate if you're wanting to like round a corner off or something like that. can see, that's you know, it just eats through it. I'll try it with something a little bit more tougher now. Right, so this is a bit of copper pipe that I squashed. I needed like a bracket for something that I was doing, but we'll see how it works on the copper. As you can see, it works pretty well. You've got good control over it, and as you're seeing, the belt does actually stay running true. It will drift a little bit depending on how much pressure you put on. You know, if you put a bit more pressure on one way than other, it does drift a little bit, but I've never had it actually come off, and it will always recenter itself, you know, when you let go of the pressure. I've not had it drifting enough to concern me, so that's one thing to think about. So I've got a bit of steel here. It's a bit of a bottle opener that I was making. It's unfinished yet, but I'll just use it as a demonstration, see whether it'll polish this up, you know, get rid of some of the scale and that. This is probably, you know, you're going to be using it for sharpening like lawnmower blades up and stuff like that, so you want to see what it works like on steel. As you can see, it's bringing that up really nicely with no effort whatsoever, really. Yeah, there we go. Now, because of the position of the motor on it, it means that you can get closer up to stuff on this side, which I have had an instance where I had to try and use it upside down, and it does work upside down. You can use it like that, but you have to be a bit careful on how much pressure you put on, because it does want to like bring the full mechanism back a bit. It's, as you can see, it is spring loaded, so you just have to be a bit careful when you're doing it, but you can use it upside down. Yeah, as you can see, works great. Right, so that pretty much covers it. I know it's just a quick review. As for the battery, it don't use much battery at all. You can pretty much do all your jobs that you're gonna do with this on a 5 amp battery and still have some charge left. I was using it for like, well, at a guess, probably an hour, pretty much constant, and I think it used like 1-2 bars of a 5 amp battery. It don't use battery at all, so you're pretty much guaranteed you're going to get all the work done that you want, and you're not going to be having to change batteries every 2 minutes, which I found pretty good, to be honest with you. Overall, I'm really impressed with how it performs. You know, I was really concerned about this belt coming off, you know, when you're doing a bit of heavy load work on it. I've not really used the speed control much. I pretty much just set it on fast speed and used it at that. I find if you have it on low speed and you add a bit of pressure, it does bog out. So you could pretty much stop it, you know. But if you have it on full speed, it's not very well. I've not had it stop, and I've had quite a bit of pressure on it. I think if you go over the top with the pressure, you could make it stop, but you're not going to be doing that. But like I say, overall, I'm really impressed with it. It moves a lot of material quick, and the main thing is that belt always stays central. You know, once you've actually got it set up, It can be a little bit fiddly to set it, to get it in the center, because as you were playing with this knob to try and center it, you have got a bit of wiggle, and it kind of throws it out a little bit, but it's not really an issue. It is just a little bit of wiggle when you're altering it, which might make it look like it's going further one way, but you have to just tweak it a little bit, let go and see where it's running, and then just tweak it a little bit until you get it spot on, and it'll stay there, which I was really surprised at. But yeah, I think if it's something that you were just thinking about getting, if you know that you're going to get some use out of it, it's well worth getting. I can see this coming in useful for a hell of a lot of stuff, whether it's doing a bit of body work on car, or like I bought it for getting into some tight areas, to clean paint off my stairs and stuff like that, which it's pretty good. So that pretty much covers it. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, remember, hit that like button, consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.